Jesus didn't want to detain the disciples. He sent them on a ship. They're going across to the other side. They were heading towards Gennesaret, and he said, I'll catch up with you. Jesus was that kind of fella, you know. He could send his fellas away from him, and he'd catch up with them. About the third watch of the night, I think somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus had finished praying. And he was en route to his disciples who were already in the ship, and the conditions stated that the wind was blowing contrary. So that means the wind was up, the waves were kind of high, but Jesus was walking on the water. When the disciples saw him, they thought he was a ghost, and they were afraid, and he cried out to them and told them not to be afraid. It was him. And this is where we come to our text, and I'll be done. Peter felt led, for whatever the reason, to go meet him. He said, if it be you. Listen to what I'm saying. He said, if it be you, bid me to come to you walking on the water. Peter knew the conditions. You have been called for a work with Christ. And believe it or not, you know the conditions. You may not understand the fullness of the work, but you know the criticalness of the work. And you are working for Christ, not yourself. This is not a business that's subject to economic hardship. It does not go bankrupt. It doesn't fold under. You are working for Christ. So you know the conditions. You know success is subject to your focus on Christ. If I'm not mistaken, we're challenged to keep our eye on the bright and morning star. We are not supposed to let other things distract me from my mission. I'm supposed to be about my Father's business. And for whatever the reason, when I be about my Father's business, there's always some rambling in the bushes and making me look from what God has called me to do. But God wants us to stay focused, because if you lose focus, trouble is going to happen. Peter wanted to come. So Jesus addressed their fear. He told them, be not afraid, it's him. Peter has permission now to come to Jesus. If I'm not mistaken, each one of us have an opportunity to come to Jesus. in our dilemma, in our situations, with our problems, we can come to Jesus. He has an open door policy that says whosoever will, let him come. And the psalmist picked it up and said, just as I am without one plea. Because regardless of my state, I have a right to come to Jesus. And the Lord told Peter to come. Peter left the comforts of the ship. Brother Brody, where he was safe. Protected from the elements. When God called us to work, we are removed from our comfort zones. Working in an area of unfamiliar territory. But knowing that he said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So that means he's not going to put no more on me than I can bear. But I need to stay focused because the enemy is determined to cause distractions. Y'all need to understand that when you've conquered one thing, that don't bother you no more. He brings something out that you forgot you ain't dealt with. When you get over one hurdle, doggone it, the devil will come. What, you forgot this? You think you all of that, but I still got something that I can aggravate you with. And it started interfering with your focus. You start becoming distracted. Your faith began to come into question. Keep in mind that Peter asked to come to Jesus. So therefore, he had the faith that he can do this thing. Peter knew he would be walking on water. So he knew that he had to stay focused. Any little thing will make you lose your grip. It can be a family member. It can be a child. If you're blessed enough to have parents, it can be your parents, because the devil have no problem making you worry about your parents. Am I right about it? He has no problem letting their illnesses mess with your mind. So you love your parents. They've been good to you. And when you don't understand what's going on with your parent, that thing eat at you like a cancer. It'll cause you not to sleep at night. It'll cause you to want to just leave work and forget you got a responsibility here and you want to go where they are if they just happen not to be in the same town. They will even make you forget you got a family to take care of because you need to go be with your parent and your parents say don't worry and you be like but mama, but daddy, but you need to be there and they telling you to stay but in your mind you ain't going to have no peace until you get to their bedside. It don't matter at this point how far they're away from you. It don't matter how short your money is. It don't matter how bad your car running. All I know, I need to get to my parents. If I can just see them, we tell us if I can just see them, I'll be all right. I heard them, but if I can just lay my eyes on them, look at this thing, look at what I'm saying. If I don't stay for 5 minutes, we got parents that hours away from us, and we telling ourselves, if I don't stay for 5 minutes, if I can just look at them. Oh, God blessing somebody. She, my parents are gone, but those are the kind of things that distract us. Think about it. When your parents sick, you don't function good at work. Short-tempered. Quick with the mouth. Cutting when you ain't got to cut. Taking it out on innocent folk that ain't did nothing to you but speak. Got folks scared to even say anything because right now they don't know where you at because you don't know where you are because you've lost focus. When our parents start getting old, we know conditions are going to start happening. It's called aging. Ain't nothing got to be wrong. They just wearing out. Say in a house where you can put on a new roof. Say in a house where you can take out the old windows and put in new windows. This ain't a house where you can pull up the floor, put in a new floor. You can't take out the countertops and put in new countertops. You can't redo the bathroom. You got to accept the fact that the porcelain is wearing out. And there ain't nothing that you can do about it. So he knew his conditions. He knew that the floor was water. He knew the wind was blowing. He knew he was leaving the safety of the ship. But he knew he was going to meet Jesus because his request was, if it be you, bid me to come to thee walking on the water. And he said, come. The moment Peter stepped out of the boat, I need y'all to look at this. Look at verse 29. Look at verse 29. And I need you to read this part after me. Repeat after me. He walked on the water to go to Jesus. Look at somebody and say, he was doing the doggone thing. Bro Joe, he was doing it. Eric, he had it together. That joker was walking on the water. His request was met. He was handling his business, y'all. of everything going on, he was walking on the water. Don't y'all know that when we get deep in Jesus, we get to feel it ourselves?